Hi there. Welcome back to 30 something Taggies. I am your host Pooja Singh and I'm so glad you're here. This is a really hot Monday evening in California and I have had a long day at work. Just your usual typical Monday, still on the weekend hangover and you're wondering what you're doing with your life. I really got into thinking about my friendships throughout the years, and especially now that I am in my 30s, what does friendships look like to me? And more specifically, how did I get over all the friendship breakups that I had over the last 3 decades, and how I am still happy and healthy and somehow feeling a lot of joy in the friendships that I have today. I also feel friendship breakups are one of the most painful but less talked about experiences of adulthood, of growing up, and how people drift apart, how sometimes you think you are going to be best friends for life, but sometimes that doesn't happen. And it hurts as much as any relationship would. There are books and movies and journals and a lot of content around how do you get over a breakup. There are literally books written on it. But no one talks about the fact that as you grow up, you are supposed to also drift apart from people in your life. And that also hurts. That hurts as much as any relationship because friends are also a really important part of our life. The memories that they leave us with and the role that they play in any walk of our life is as important as any. And it just hurts whenever you think about those memories, whenever you think about what happened between the two of you. And it is just a very valid human adult experience one of us has to go through. Something that you wouldn't find on a greeting card, something that is not a socially acceptable thing to grieve for. And no one tells you how to get over those tingly feelings when you are awake at 2 a.m. in the night and still thinking about that one friend who was everything to you at one point in your life and now they are nowhere to be found. Today we are going to talk about friendship breakups. I'm talking about all kind of breakups here. The dramatic, blowing in your face kind of. You really fought with that person and you really came to a disagreement. You really came to a loggerhead with them. And no matter how much you try to avoid it or solve it, it's not salvageable anymore. And it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth for your life, like relationship breakups. Then there are breakups when you slowly realize without any conflict or disagreement that the other person, someone who you thought is going to be your friend, is not as invested in your life as you thought they are or as invested as you are in their life. And when that happens, you are left with a choice either to invest your energy into other friends or other people who are more invested in your life, who have a more positive impact in your life. And that also hurts because it is a kind of decision that you have to make for your personal growth and your mental health to move on from something that doesn't serve you anymore. And that is also a kind of breakup. Then there are those quieter breakups, no drama, nothing. You just know that you have drifted apart and each of you are in a different stage of your life where you just can't find any time to meet, or you can also not find the space and mental bandwidth to connect at the same level that you once had. Maybe you are in your healing journey slightly further off than the other person, or you are still stuck in something that is really marring your existence and you are struggling with it. Maybe a situation or something else like a health situation, financial situation, something of that sort, and the other person cannot seem to align with that feeling. They cannot live your life, of course, but they cannot seem to put their differences aside and be there for you, validate you. When that happens, you feel unheard and misunderstood by the same people who were supposed to be your friends, and sometimes you just choose to distance yourself from them and slowly you just find yourself in different parts of life, and that is also okay. That is also a kind of breakup. It still hurts in one way or form because it is going to hurt someone who you knew so deeply, so closely is not going to be in your life anymore. Someone who you thought is always going to be there for you. And when you look back at those same pictures, reminiscent, the same memories, you feel bad about it because we are humans and we look at our lives as this big story that we are living. And in that story, if we don't have that familiar face anymore, we are left wondering what happened there. And that is also okay. The one friend that knew all of your secrets, who you would thought you will grow old with, and somehow gradually you just did it. If you have experienced the loss of a friendship that just slowly faded away, or if you have experienced a friendship breakup that ended very abruptly, very uncomfortably, and you had to distance yourself from someone who you once loved deeply, this episode is for you. Because truth of the matter is we don't talk about friendship breakups too often. No one prepares you for the fact that it is going to hurt a lot. But sometimes loving someone can also mean letting them go on their own for your own healing, for their healing. And nobody wants you that growing up also means growing apart from the people who made you what you are today. I have always been an insecure person when it comes to friendships. Growing up, I have discussed this multiple times before. I always felt I am a misfit. I had different interests from people around me, and that is okay. Now I understand that it is okay to have different interests. But I was also sort of lonely growing up in the sense that I felt I don't have a lot of friends. And there were various reasons for it. I think I was very invested in my academics. I would only just study all the time. I also didn't have time for my friends. Thankfully, I had some friends, but I always believed that people are not wanting to spend time with me. Somewhere when I was growing up, I was made to feel that way, and different people react differently to things. And I reacted in a manner that I internalized it too much. So, growing up during my high school or before I went to college, I always used to think that people don't want to be friends with me. And I just had two best friends, one best friend that is still my friend, but I only had a few friends. And I became very insecure in the fact that I want to have friends, but people don't want to be my friends. So I used to be really, really scared and overwhelmed about the fact that how am I looking or how am I coming across to the other person? When I went to college, I still struggled with it so much. I felt very lonely for different reasons. I think I've gone into those reasons before, but I did not have a lot of friends. I always wanted to be girly in a sense. I was very academic, I was ambitious, I did all the things right, but deep down, I think I was just a girl wanting other girls to be friends with, and it was kind of hard for me. I never found that connection with those friends. And I was again left feeling that people don't want to be my friends. It really hurt me that my self worth was already low. It really hurt me that I doubled down on this internalized misconception that I had about myself, that I'm not interesting enough to be friends with. And I'm not girly enough to be friends with. That is all wrong. I would find out later that it was not these facts, but some other things in my personality that I needed to change to find better friends, or I was looking for friends in the wrong crowd, probably. And I would correct it later on, but around the time in my early 20s, I would feel extremely lonely, extremely left out, and I would dare not go out of my comfort zone to find new friends because I was always scared of their perception of me. That went on until the point I moved to Bangalore for my first job, and I moved there alone. I had friends, I had my partner also working in Bangalore, and it was a new chapter of our life, all of our lives. We would be very excited, a bunch of 21-year-olds who had just gotten hold of money and opportunities and living in a big city, coming from smaller cities. And we would hang out quite a bit. We would try to do activities in the first year of moving to Bangalore. I found friends at my workplace. I did my internship in the same company. And I found a group of people around my age who I was friends with. And then there were people who moved from my college there, and I used to hang out with them as well. Now, the thing with any engineering college is that there are very few girls in engineering college. And as goes the case, there were very few female friends that I had in Bangalore because everyone worked in tech and there were a lot of guys. those guys are still my friend and those people are still a very close part of my life. But around the time, the girls that I was friends with in college who also moved with me to Bangalore there slowly started drifting apart. And I again became very scared. I became scared of the fact that this internalized misconception again that I have within myself that I will never have friends is gonna come true. And after an year or so of everyone hanging out together, everyone being each other's close friend, people moved on to better priorities. I was always still the insecure one, and it really used to hurt me or scare me that I will not have any friends. And so I will do things to have them in my life over and over again. I would also do things going out of my way, spending my time that I could have spent in my career opportunities or skill building or my personality development, going after people that are not gonna be in my life, that were not gonna be in my life. This was around the time I also started having a lot of mental health issues. I was a very young girl. I thought I am lost. So I expected a lot from my friends. I expected that they would see signs of mental health issues in me. I also expected that they somehow fix me. They take attention to the fact that someone is struggling. All of that was really wrong expectations from my end because no one really truly knows what you are going through unless you tell them. And then also, no one owes you anything. They cannot give you any advice if they haven't lived your life. Some people might be able to be there for you, help you be functional, help you feel heard, help you with other things in your life, but they can't do the hard work for you. No friend can do that. And it was on me that I had this wrong expectation with them. And of course, I was going to find out that that expectation is always broken and it would hurt me furthermore. So then, whatever friendships I had in my life were also around my comfort zone. I have been an introverted person. I wasn't this confident person who I am today talking in front of the camera. I was really shy. I barely got out of my comfort zone because I would always overthink any social interaction and think that I'm coming across as stupid or I'm coming across as cringy. This was my internal talk that I would have with myself anytime I had any social interaction. And by this time, because I had so much insecurity about my friendships and my personality, that I would second guess every social interaction and would try to have people in my life do things for them, going out of my way, even though I did not want to do those things in the first place. And as you can guess, a relationship like this is not very sustainable because I'm always just giving, and also expecting unrealistic things in return. And I'm not giving the other person that mental space or leverage or room for doubt that they might be busy in their lives, they might be taking care of other priorities, and sometimes people don't have time to be there for you, but doesn't mean they are not your friends. If someone is just trying to do their best, then also they are trying to be your friend in the busy life that they have, in the millions of things they are trying to juggle on any given day, as I was, right? But I was a very young girl. I used to be really enamored by everything around me, by social media, that you should have like hundreds of friends to look cool, by other people's life that they throw in your face. I remember I decided that I am really not feeling good and I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. And I thought that traveling solo would fix me of my mental health issues, would fix me of this feeling. So I went about planning for a solo trip. And now that I think about it, that was my first step towards getting out of my comfort zone and being in a social situation where I didn't know anyone else. I went alone and I had to figure out a bunch of things. And I was really not okay in my head at that time. Now that I think about it, I was extremely anxious. I was extremely not prepared. But in the process, I might not have found myself. I found some friends. I lived in this hostel with other girls and I found some kind of womanhood, some kind of femininity around them. We had a nice chat. We would go down to the beach to have dinner together because, of course, you can't roam around on your own. And we would talk about different things. Those people are still my friends. They are my Instagram mutuals. They are from different nationalities and They are also from different cities in India, and we still talk here and there, and we talk about the fact that we met as strangers so many years ago. And that one act kind of opened up my heart and mind to the fact that there are so many things, so many people in this world that you can actually talk to. And even though I was not the perfect person when it comes to my personality, I wasn't this confident person when it comes to talking, speaking, and presenting myself. But that was the first step that pushed me in the direction of telling me and getting over this misconception that I had that really you don't have an interesting personality and you need a lot to be good friends with people. As a matter of fact, it's not true. Those people really had a fleeting conversation with me, really had a fleeting experience with me. And around that experience, we are friends with that familiarity that you can really be friends with anyone. And if you find people who have a similar bandwidth to you, you really wouldn't have any problem making friends for a bit. They might not be your closest of friends, but they can be acquaintances and you can have a good time with them. So that really kicked off things for me. And then eventually I moved to a new country altogether. I moved to London and I was really happy. I had to make new friends. I was still the shy person. I was still struggling with my mental health. I still was going to therapy and figuring out stuff as you do in a new country. And the thing with a cold country like UK is that it's always going to be cold. It was around the time that it was around the time of second wave of COVID. And it was extremely hard to find friends because no one was going out. And in that moment, I did find some friends. I was friends with some people. I used to hang out with people who used to live close by. I found a place to live in my initial months. Around the place, all of my friends used to live and we would hang out a little bit. I was still that person who was internally so insecure. I remember doing things for other people so much just so I can have some people in my life. I was so afraid to be lonely. I was so afraid to be left with nothing, no friends around me. And I am ashamed or embarrassed of some of the things that I did around that time for my younger self. Like I apologize to my younger self for wasting so much time and energy in people that I really didn't want to hang out with. And I had a really unsustainable relationship with. They were just trying to project their insecurities on me, and I took it upon myself as I would that it is because of me that they are being shitty to me. They don't want to be polite to me. Then something happened to me. Then I lost a very important part of my life, a very important family member. And around the time when I was grieving, I found out that really all friendships are temporary. Everything in life is temporary. Nothing is permanent. And you have to live with that fact. And I also found out, I was to realize that not everyone is going to understand you. Even when you go through such a big thing in your life where you are grieving the loss of a parent, people would misunderstand you. They would still try to take advantage of your vulnerability. Some people would. And then on the other hand, some people would go out of their way to help you, even though you didn't have a really good friendship with them to begin with. There are all kind of people in this world. And all of that was not in my control. It was not something that I was doing because of my personality. It just happened to me. Something that is so out of my control and I am punished for it, misunderstood for it. I am stigmatized. I am left alone for it because people just don't understand grief and they don't want to be around uncomfortable feelings. They just want to have a good time and go back home and not take responsibility for someone else. Then I really understood everything in this world, everything in this life is temporary. It is not that deep. It is not that personal. It is you who have to take care of your life. It is you who have to be your own best friend first. Because really, for no fault of yours, for no control of yours, all of the friendships in your life can be taken away. And when that happens, that might happen, that might not happen. When that happens, you should still be so secure in your personality, in the fact that you can take care of yourself, in the fact that you can have fun with yourself, you can do things with yourself, you have a really strong personality, you are very confident, and really, others should they want to hang out with you. And I'm not talking about this in a very cool manner, in a way that you should show people what you got. I'm just talking about the fact that you should be such a interesting personality to be around, that you have fun with yourself. And then when you have time, then when you have that resources and energy to hang out with other people, then people should want to hang out with you. You are going to have some relationships like that. And people who really, really love you, who are going to be there for you, they are going to be there for you no matter what. So you don't have to be insecure around them. People helped me at a time when I really needed help, and they tried to understand, because it's not something that anyone would understand. I get it now. They really went out of their way to make me feel comfortable, to be there for me, to call me ever so often, even though I really did not want to talk to anyone. And they would do things for me, little things for me. And I was also really angry with a lot of things. I was also really stupid with some of the things, and I would do those things and they would try to take care of me. All of these things, there are always going to be people who will do that for you. And if you're lucky, you will get to keep them. And there is no point of coming from an insecure viewpoint in friendships like these. So there are two tiers of friendships. One is someone like an inner circle, where you have close friends who are going to love you, who are going to be there for you. And sometimes, for some reasons, things might not work out, and you will really feel bad when friendships like these break. It has happened to me before. And there is a process to move on from it, which is more of a grieving process, where you cherish that friendship still, and then still you want to process your feelings around it. And then there are going to be acquaintances and people who are just going to be in your life here and there. You really don't need to base your personality on their opinion of you. You really don't need to think too much about those friendships. You just have to, what you all need to do is you just have to put them in a box, keep them aside, and move on, because your time here is limited. You have limited bandwidth to do things. As is, you don't have time to waste on people. As is, you don't have time to waste on anything. You have so many things to do in your life. You have so many things to do in the day. And you have so many wonderful people, your close inner circle, to hang out with, to find joy with, to share your life with. So if one of friendships drop out of your radar, that is still fine. It happens sometimes. Time takes a toll on things. And sometimes it is better to just think of that time as a fleeting season in your life than brood too much on it and overthink it and make it a bigger part of your life story than it is. How do you get into this mindset of not being afraid of friendship breakups, having sustainable relationships with yourself and with the friendships around you, and do not sell yourself short only because you are only afraid of something uncomfortable or afraid of losing people and doing things that you really don't want to do? First things first, you have to learn to identify kind of relationships and friendships in your life. As I said, there are going to be people who come and go in your life, who are only acquaintances with you or who you are just getting to know. Right now, you are in your initial stages of friendships and you are meeting them for some activity or so. And in that, you find joy through that shared experience with each other. So those people are really something that are more like acquaintances for you. They're going to come and go in your life, and they are going to have something to add to your life, maybe an anecdote, maybe some tidbits, maybe an advice. And really, you don't have to be afraid of losing them, because I have felt that relationships and friendships made around activities or fleeting time, they sometimes get overlooked when other important priorities come in your life. And that is how it should be like. It's totally okay. People move on to better priorities in their life, and you should just be happy for them, not be afraid of them. So if you're really concerned about friendships like these, really take a step back. Think about the fact that they had something to add to your life, but they are not making or breaking your life. It is not very personal that someone stopped talking to you or someone moved on in their life, because people finicky. They sometimes get bored with the same people. They sometimes find better people to hang out with. They sometimes move apart. They have different things going on in their life. So it's not really personal. Probably the other person do not have a lot of bandwidth to spare. Probably they don't have a lot to add in your life anymore. So you don't have to take it personally. You don't have to go back to all the traumas that you have lived through friendships. You don't even have to redig that trauma again and make your life miserable. Then there are going to be friendships that are very close to your heart, that span over years, that you really think are going to be forever. And that is a good intention. All of us want a sense of community, and friends are really good in that. So I get it. You're going to be afraid. You're going to be a little bit anxious that you don't want to lose people like this. And that is okay. That is fine. And you know what? That's okay. Giving people value, giving friendships in your life value is important. It is something that you must invest your time and energy into, because I'm not going to tell you that you have to live alone on a mountain and you don't need people in your life and you are really sufficient on your own. I have found it from my experience that having friendships and people around me have made me a more conscious person. Doing things for others have made me more secure, but also without an expectation of them giving me back something. It has just made me a less self centered person. It has made me focus less on my everyday problem all the time, and it has made me less complaining. So when I do things for people, I certainly do get the investment, get the return of your investment in investing in people, in investing in friends that are going to help you through one of the most difficult times in your life. But sometimes what is going to happen is you might drift apart, you might have some disagreement, you might not be the bestest of friends that you once were. And it is a little bit daunting. I still am really afraid of losing some of the best people in my life. And I really do care about the time that we have spent together. I really do care about their role in my life. And it would make me really unhappy. It would make me really sad if one day we stop talking. But I have also come to accept the fact that that might happen. That is a possibility. That is a completely valid thing to have, because maybe some people will have different priorities in their life. And then I have to understand that they don't have the same kind of mental and physical and timely bandwidth to give me. And really, then I have to understand that they might move ahead in their life, not going to be the same amount of time and energy that they invest in my life anymore. And then I have to let them go. I have to be just happy for them. I have to come from a secure viewpoint of not thinking that something that they are doing because they don't want to be in my life anymore. It is just that as we grow older, we get more responsibilities. We get caught up in a lot of things. Our priorities change, and all of us are trying to grow and become something. And when that happens, your time is invested elsewhere, and you have to let go, and you have to think of your friends from afar, give them blessings, help them if they need something every once and often. But really look back to this friendship as something beautiful that you had once, and all the memories that you made, and all the beautiful things they brought in your life. Then there are gonna be people, really close people, who you are gonna have disagreement with, who you are not gonna be able to align with anymore because some things happened between the two of you. And really, this one hurts. Then you have to process all your feelings, that you have to mend your broken heart. But I will tell you that you have to do it. There are processes, different people have different ways to grieve. I really take my time grieving. I really take my own sweet time resting. I really take my own sweet time writing about my thoughts, talking about my thoughts, venting, being angry. And then once it is out of my system, somehow I'm able to move on. So I recognize the fact that now it is time for me to move on, and this process has to start now. I am really not anxious about it anymore because I think I did it a lot of times. I have grieved a lot of things in my life. I have grieved the loss of a job, I've grieved the loss of a parent, friendships, a place that I used to live in, I used to like. All of these things I have grieved. I have become really good at identifying that now it is time for me to grieve. And I give myself that space. And I also give myself that time. Very often, what happens is we have busy lives and we are so distracted and we are not in touch with our own emotions so much that we don't want to invest energy into healing. We are very afraid of finding out what lies within. We are very afraid of finding out what is hiding beneath the surface. And we don't start that process of grieving. We don't start the process of being in touch with our own emotions, and we distract ourselves. I'm going to tell you, if you distract yourself too much, then there's going to be a day where all of those emotions are going to come raging at you and you will not know what to do with them. Better is to take a step back, to understand, to get into the process of learning how to grieve properly, learning how to let your emotions out. Once you have done that, you know that there is going to be some other person, some transformation that is going to come from this process that you are doing. And your goal is to lean towards the positive side of your aspect, positive side of your personality, so that you're not left bitter, you're not left petty, you're not left with a very bad taste in your mouth. And that should be our goal. Grieving is an important part of our life. Grieving is something that all of us has to go through. So we should learn how to do that. And friendships are again a part of it. Even if it is hard, even if it is really uncomfortable for you to do at first, this is what is needed of you. And this is an important part of your life. Just one bonus point I would like to give you is I really, really worked on myself. I really worked on a couple of goals that I wanted to achieve in my life. And when that happened, when I was doing that, my time was very limited. My time that I can give other people was very limited. And for a minute, I did not talk to anyone. I wasn't around. I wasn't hanging out. So now, why this reminder, this chapter is so important in your 30s, especially as a woman. It took me so many ups and downs in my life to realize that friendships or friends or people around you are supposed to give you a safe space for you to be yourself or to express what you are going through, to express what is going on in your life. And I personally tried a lot to be vulnerable in front of my friends. And with that, the people who really wanted to be in that space, who really wanted to help me, and who really felt heard and helped by my initiative or my approach to having a friendship, they stayed. And we had this really nice connection. We had this really nice space for all of us to be each other's champions, to be like of an extended family of the same age group where we are helping each other's out through very difficult decisions in our lives. And I still to date have so many close friends that we connect with. I made it a practice to reach out to my friends, to be in their lives, to call them ever so often, to ask them how they are feeling. And it took a bit of trial and error. Some people stayed, some people did not want to do that. And the ones that did, they also had a remarkable impact in my life, and they helped me grow, and they helped me be the person that I am today. And it is a long process. Now in my 30s, I am also reaping the benefit of having that close circle, having that close bunch of people who advise me when it comes to my career, when it comes to financial things, when it comes to personal family things, when it comes to just talking about my running or reading and other things, other interests that I have. A lot of my friends are also not content creators, they are not on social media, and they really do not understand what I'm trying to do, but they are my biggest cheerleaders. They always ask me what is the new content that I'm putting out, how am I feeling about this thing, and they try to hype me up all the time. Sometimes I am really low, I am really down by the fact that I put in so much effort into this thing, and sometimes people don't recognize it, and what would happen, what would not happen, all of those kind of things. And my closest friends, they try to be there for me. In my 30s, what my understanding and experience has been like, I feel you are really going to be accelerating all your goals. You are really going to be going after the things that make your life really beautiful, but also really big things are going to happen to you in your 30s. Some people are going to buy a house. Some people are going to get promoted to the job that they worked so hard for, they have been working a decade for. Some people are going to get married. Some people are going to start their families. A lot of these things are going to happen in the 30s. And when that is happening, when you live so far away from your homes, like I do, you need that connection. You need your friends around you. You need to also travel together and see the world together and come together every once and often and be there in each other's life. Now, this is my understanding, and I would extend this understanding to also as a woman. I am really looking for other women to be my friends. I am saying it out loud. I never invested so much time and energy and thought in female friendships that I want to do now. And there is a reason for it. I think I am in a very comfortable space, in a very safe space. I feel very secure in my personality that I no longer feel that I'm not deserving of female friendships. I don't know why when I was in college that misconception, that misunderstanding was internalized too much within me. But I do see the benefits of having female friendships, and I am reaching out for them now. I will share an example. I realized that still a lot of my friends around me, guys, these are people who I have known from college, and I have made new friends, friend of friends. You make friends, you are in groups, all of that happens. But I realized this fact that I still am missing that female touch in my life. So I went out of my comfort zone and I tried to make friends, tried to meet other women my age and talk to them. I talked to a wonderful woman during my office commute. She always comes in the shuttle, and one day I happened to sit near her. And I'm really bad with small talk. Where I live, people are really good with small talk. They can really hold a conversation. But as an introvert and someone who feels like they don't have a lot to say, they don't have a lot to add to things, they don't have that knack for talking about random things, I would never initiate. But I did. And that day realized that we have talked to each other before. We are working on the same floor and we have chatted over Teams so many times for other things, but we never knew how each of us looked. And then we formed a friendship. We talk very often. We are always talking in the shut. We enter our base together and we are also doing activities beyond our work. And she introduced me to this other friend of ours. And I found two female friends rather than just one. That really proved to me that very inhibited and coy part of me, that you don't need a lot of expectations in the beginning. You can really just reach out to the person, talk about a few common things, and what do you know, maybe the other person is also looking for connections like these. And it proved to me that you need to it proved to me that you have all the opportunities in front of you. You need to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. There's so many people around you, women around you, and I got to talking about so many things. We can connect to each other, talking about our partners, about our homes, about our jobs, how it is difficult, how it is not difficult, what are the workplace conflicts we get into, and gossip as is. Then I was also looking for some female friendships in the content creation space. And, there is this misconception that women can never be friends with each other. I don't think so. I reached out to a couple of people on Instagram that I have been following for quite a bit, and some of them live near my place. And I invited one person over for coffee and we met, and we have been such good friends ever since. We meet for coffee ever so often. We talk about a lot of things. The first meeting itself was really nice because we are around the same age. We are two women in our 30s trying to figure out our lives in this big country. We have uprooted ourselves from so many places, and both of us might have different lives, but we come from similar kind of background, small town girls trying to do something big, trying to achieve something and just be ourselves, right? So that was a healthy reminder to me that you really don't have to think of friendships as just this one size fit all formula that you are given. And sometimes having friendship breakups can be pushed to you to get out of your comfort zone. I started doing these things after I had a really bad breakup with one of my best friends earlier this year or last year. I think I have compartmentalized that part of my life too deep. But there was this one friend that I thought we are gonna be best friends forever. We used to talk every single day. We had the best rapport with each other. We have known each other for so many years. We know each other's secret to the T, everything we know about each other. And then, for some reason, whatever reason, for no fault of mine or that other person, we had a disagreement about something and things got a little messy and we drifted apart. That took a hit on me. That again brought back that trauma of feeling that people are going to leave you. Your personality is bad. I really have abandonment issues. I realized that later. So that kind of reiterated the fact that everything is worthless. Putting effort into things and friendships and other people's life is worthless, because when it comes to them doing things for you, they will not do it. I went into my shell. I stopped talking to people. I stopped socializing. It just hurt me too bad. But that was my grieving process. I knew I had to do it. I knew that disagreement surfaced a lot of things between the two of us that we have overlooked for so many years. And really, I am on a growth journey with myself. I want to grow. And if I keep running into the same circles, if I keep thinking about the same things, same insecurities, I will never be able to progress in my life. And it was a hard decision for me to make. to finally grieve that friendship. And I did it for a few months. I had my own ways. And when I let that out, I realized now I need new friends. Now it's okay, it's done and dusted. And really, this little incident reiterated the fact for me that nothing is permanent in this life. You come and go, you are a traveler in this really big journey of life where you'll meet new people and you need to meet new people. And really, there is no expectation. I cannot expect everyone to be in my life forever, and that is okay. Now I'm at a point where I think of our time as having these fond memories. I still think of them as someone who had a really big part to play in my life. They did a lot of things for me around the time that no one understood me. They were standing there for me. They helped me with so many things. And really, I am this person that I am today because of them, because of some things that they did for me. But now we move our own ways, we part our own ways, we have our different lives, we have different priorities in our life that our energy is going to be invested in. And if it comes to that, tomorrow we cross paths. I'll only cross paths with them with a smile on my face and only good wishes for them. That really taught me that breakups are okay. They're part of life. And not everyone who you think is your best friend now is always going to be in your life. Things and relationships and friendships and your life is very temporary. Really, I believe the best thing that you can do for yourself is really work on your own personality. Have things in your life to do that you can do alone. Be really comfortable with your own company first. Get so busy that when you think of spending time with someone else, you really value that time. And whenever you are also giving time to others, being in someone else's life, you know why you are doing it. You know that you already have so many goals to work on. You know that you have worked on your personality. You know that you have worked on yourself. And if all else fails, you're always going to be your best friend. You're always going to be your truest friend. No one can take that away from you. And when you get into that mindset, every relationship that you have, every friendship that you have is going to be from a more secure viewpoint, from a very sustainable outlook. And you will not expect a lot from people. You will not have very unrealistic expectations from your friends, like they have to fix your life or they have to be always there for you. Or if they are not present in your life for a little bit of time, they are busy, then it is something on you and your life is miserable. So if you work on yourself, if you have so many things to do in the day, if you have so many people to meet, you have friends from different walks of life, you know that you can make friends at any point in life, at any place, even if you have to move places, even if the demographic changes, you will be more comfortable, you will be a better person, you will be more prone to showing your personality and putting yourself out there and finding people who work best in your interest, who are going to bring a lot of joy in your days, and you can have shared experiences around. So work on yourself, go out there, get out of your comfort zone, find people, like-minded people, find people who are going to really interest you, bring out a new outlook in your life, but work on yourself first. I know that sometimes getting out of your comfort zone, accepting the uncomfortable truths in our life and working through them give us a lot of confidence and give us a lot of footing in understanding and being our own person first. And really, whatever comes your way, even if it is a friendship breakup, you're going to be really strong. You're going to be really steadfast. You're going to be really confident in the fact that you will move on and you will find people from all walks of life. It is only a matter of time. It is only a matter of some effort that you need to put in that direction. And that is okay. As we start to wrap up today, I want to talk about something that I think is the hardest but most important part of processing friendship, making peace with the truth that all good things come to an end. It took me a long time to stop seeing friendship endings as failures. For years, I carried on with this guilt, with this unsettling feeling, this regret of never seeing some friendships come to life, seeing some people disappear from my life. I would replay conversations, continuously wonder what went wrong, fantasize about reaching out to those people and fixing everything. while there was nothing to fix. It was only the tide of time that took away that thing. And personally, I wasn't really happy in that state of mind where I would blame myself for all of these disappearances, all of these breakups. I have come to realize now that not all relationships are meant to last forever, and that doesn't make them less meaningful or less valuable. Some people come into our life for a particular season, they are not going to be there for a lifetime, and that is okay. Making peace with friendship endings doesn't mean that it hurts any less. It just means that you have learned to accept this fact of life. You have learned to process these uncomfortable feelings, and you have learned to live a life without fear, without anxiety, without overthinking. That includes friendships in your life. Be kind to yourself as you navigate all of these relationships, all of these adult friendships. Honor the friends that have been a part of your journey, even if they are not part of your destination now. And trust that the people who are meant to be there for your future are already on their way. This is 30 something Tyrese. And every relationship in your story, even the ones that end, helped shape the beautiful person that you're becoming.